How's it going, guys? Carl here from North Coast Constrictors, and welcome back to the channel. So I don't know whether or not I'm even going to post this video. We'll see. If you're watching this, then I've posted it. If not, then well, I've had a clutch of hatchlings. I would have uploaded a video before. It looks like we have an umbilical cord issue with one of the hatchlings. Okay. I'm just wanting to double check to make sure that we do or we don't. Okay, so the only way that I can do that is to give myself more visibility. Trying to do this without harming the snake, little hatchling, in any way. And I also don't really want to take it out the shell just yet while it's still soaking up. But first and foremost, I have to make sure that the umbilical cord is not, and I don't know if you can see this or not, is not wrapped around the snake in any way. Okay, we are safe. We are safe. Okay. Very happy to say that we are safe. Okay. That has been stressing me out since last night. I'm happy to say that I do not have to interfere anymore with this. I was really anxious and do not want to disturb this hatchling in any way, shape or form. I wanted to come out of the egg naturally. I did separate it from the rest of the hatchlings in the clutch, but I've cut a big enough section of the egg off so that it's still cradled inside the egg, but where I can clearly see that the umbilical cord is not wrapped around the body of this hatchling in any way. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to carry on with the rest of my video that I was making, and this will be edited in there somewhere because I was busy pulling out the clutch, and then I thought, oops, we've got a problem, we can't make the video, and I stopped making the video, and then I thought, okay, let me sort this hatchling out and let me make a video on it, and if it works, it works. We've done an educational video. If it didn't work, I would have been touch and go about whether to post it or not. But the positive side is that we've got a very nervous little snake there, but we've also got a very safe little snake. So back to the original video. Okay. Guys, how's it going? Carl from North Coast Constrictors, and welcome back to the channel. So let me try and keep this as brief as possible because my videos tend to go on for quite a long time. Yesterday morning we had our very first pip from our very first clutch of eggs laid this season. The sire was a super pastel Axanthic, possible yellow belly, and the dame was a pastel 100% het Axanthic VPI. We work with the Axanthic VPI line. She was a massive female, and she gave us 12 great healthy eggs. The male, which I got from Aunt Mackenzie from McMorphs, we didn't know if he was yellow belly or not. Ant has got another female that he paired both of those snakes together, and the hatchlings, some of them came out yellow belly, and couldn't determine whether it was the female that had the yellow belly gene or the male that had the yellow belly gene. Anyway, Anne sold the male to me at the beginning of the breeding season. I paired that male up to my 100%, my pastel 100% het Axanthic VPI, which we know doesn't have yellow belly in it. And if we got any yellow bellies in this clutch, then we would know that the male actually had the yellow belly gene. And I'm happy to say that that male has proved to have yellow belly. Out of the 12 eggs, we pretty much hit the jackpot, especially with pairing up the Axanthic as a recessive gene, and we paired a visual Axanthic male being super pastel yellow belly, now that we know it's yellow belly, visual Axanthic to a pastel 100% het Axanthic female. So it wasn't guaranteed that all the babies were going to come out Axanthic with the female being 100% het Axanthic. However, out of the 12 eggs, we've hit a minimum of 11 visual Axanthics. All of them are pastel or super pastel. All of them, I think, are Axanthic, but there's one which is possibly a pastel or a super pastel 100% het Axanthic. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to wait for it to come out the egg. Out of the 12 eggs that we've got here, only one baby has actually managed to, well, wanted to come out the egg, and that happens to be the one that pipped first yesterday morning. It is out, and it also happens to be the hatchling that's got all the genes. So it's a super pastel yellow belly Axanthic VPI. Don't know if it's a male or a female yet. The rest of the 11 hatchlings are still curled up inside their shells, and we'll leave them there and as long as they want and let them come out on their own. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just show you first of all a couple of snakes here, a couple still inside their egg, just for interest's sake. And then we'll show like the Axanthic and pastel and super pastel. Now, if I hold this little baby up here, you can see the blacks are still pretty black. Okay, I'm not sure where the camera is going to focus. This looks like a pastel Axanthic and not a super pastel Axanthic to me, and I'm going to show you the difference why. Okay, super pastel is going to lighten it up. Pastel in Axanthic keeps the blacks blacker and the greys grayer and stops the eventually Axanthic will brown out and go brown and dull out as it gets older with age. Pastel keeps it black. Now super pastel tends to make the snake a little bit lighter. So for example, this beautiful snake here, this is a super pastel Axanthic. You can see that there's a lot more gray in it, okay, as opposed to that's not as black. The contrast is not as black. That'll be the super. That'll be the super. Now what I'm going to show you here is one that is already out the egg. It hit all the genes, and sorry, my sweetheart, I really don't like to disturb you. But just and there is a bit of vermiculite, and I'm going to leave it in the egg box with its other hatchlings until they've all hatched. Now guys, and for very quickly, because I don't want to keep it out the egg box for long, what you're looking at here is a super pastel, let me just get some vermiculite, super pastel yellow belly Axanthic VPI. Okay, it hit all the genes. Okay, stunning snake. If it's a female, it will most certainly be a holdback. It is the exact same makeup, genetic makeup as the dad. We've now know that because it's got yellow belly in it, the dad is yellow belly. Okay, so I wish I could do some more camera time on this beautiful snake. I really do. I think it's a stunner. It's an absolute winner. It's the only one that's come out, but I can feel already just by holding it, I just don't want the temperature to drop too much. So in it goes with the rest of its siblings. A lot of these snakes look like, I really would love, I can't wait until they've come out the actual shell, because then I will be able to tell which are yellow belly and which are super pastel. I mean, I can already tell which are just plain Axanthic. This is the only one here which is a possibility of it being a pastel or a super pastel 100% het Axanthic. It's got a slight, there's a slight orangeness to those, what do you, if you want to call them, alien heads, okay, which is the only sign that this may not be a visual Axanthic, but maybe a pastel or super pastel 100% het Axanthic. But until it comes out fully and it's had its first shed, I won't be able to tell. Okay, so we've removed the light diffusers. Okay, this is what I normally have them on. I've removed them now that they have pipped and they are still in the egg, and the reason for that is I was given some very sound advice today from a very respected breeder, Dwayne Berger, that to remove the light diffuser. You know, I'm still learning, we all learn, every single day we learn something new. Sometimes these hatchlings can get their heads caught in the light diffuser and you can lose a snake that way. So it's safer to put them straight onto the vermiculite, and you know, they're opened up now. There's going to be there's no harm in putting them straight on the egg, straight onto the vermiculite. You can, people incubate that way regardless. Okay, so now that they've hatched and I've got the eggs cut open, they're directly onto the vermiculite, and there's no chance of that or any of these hatchlings now trying to force its head under the light diffuser or in between and get stuck and get itself trapped. Okay, something that I didn't know, something that I learned today. It's actually the first season. Last year I never used a light diffuser. This year I am using a light diffuser, and it's just something that a fellow breeder shared, the knowledge that he shared with me today, and it makes perfect sense, because what a pity it would be if we lost a hatchling that way. So here are 12 beautiful Axanthic, super pastel Axanthics, or a pastel 100% het Axanthic. Out of the 12, we're guaranteed of 11 visual Axanthics, and a combination of super pastel, and yellow belly. Once they're all out the shell and once they've all had their first lay, I know for sure that one there is a super pastel yellow belly Axanthic. The rest of them I can see for sure super pastel Axanthics. I just want to see which are the yellow bellies, and 50% theoretically of the clutch should have yellow belly in them, theoretically, because the male is a yellow belly, which is an incomplete dominant gene. So 50% of the clutch should have yellow belly in it. So that what a bonus that is. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to go ahead now and put these beautiful babies back into the incubator and leave them be, stop bothering them. I actually am like a kid on Christmas morning. I just wish they would come out and, you know, be moving around. It's just so fantastic to start off this season with such a great clutch of eggs. It's not a really high-end project as far as Axanthics go. It's a high-end project for Axanthic. It's not a double recessive, so I mean, it's not like an Axanthic clown or an Axanthic pod or something like that. Although we are working on the Axanthic pod project this year. We have got Axanthic pods. We have paired up. We've got gravid females that are, if we do prove, they have produced visual Axanthic pods, but that's still 3 months away. Those females are only building up. They've only just ovulated. So we're at that stage where we've actually got hatchlings already, and we've got females that are still building up to, so the females that have just ovulated. It's going to be quite a long season. So this is a, as far as a recessive project goes, they're not just straight Axanthic. We've got super pastel and yellow belly in there, which makes it quite a high-end Axanthic project. So it's something to be very proud of, especially for someone like me that's in his second season. I'm very, very grateful that we had healthy eggs and healthy hatchlings, and that we were so lucky with this pairing, because it wasn't a visual Axanthic female, it was 100% het. And we really smashed the odds with the 12 eggs to get 11 visual Axanthics. And I'm still kind of banking on that one there being an Axanthic. But even if it's a pastel or a super pastel 100% het Axanthic, I'm okay, because we've got 11 Axanthics, pastel Axanthics or super pastel Axanthics. And I just want to see how many of them are yellow belly. For sure, we've got one, which you've already seen. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. We have got a lot more coming up in the future. We've got a lot more females that are still to lay eggs. It's still, this is just clutch number 1 of about 25. If everything goes according to plan, we should have about 25 clutches of eggs this season. So many more videos to come like this. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next video. Cheers.